want to welcome all of you to Fabulous Friday and welcome back to my Healthy Cooking Made Easy cooking stage. Today I am so excited to share my recipe with you. This is a healthy, nutritious recipe. Now, many of you who follow me know that as part of what we do in Princess House, we talk about our VIDA SANA system of eating the rainbow. And it's really easy to eat the rainbow when you pick the right recipes. Today's recipe is part of eating the rainbow under the color yellow and orange, and the different benefits that those types of fruits and vegetables have for you. So I want to start off by telling you about sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. Now, sweet potatoes are highly nutritious. Sweet potatoes are a great source for fiber, vitamins, and minerals. They also help promote gut health, and the fiber and antioxidants that are in sweet potatoes are advantageous to your gut health. And as you all know, gut health is important because it helps to fight inflammation, which is the cause of many of the diseases that many people actually have. Sweet potatoes also may help with cancer fighting properties, because that's something we all want to be conscious of. Sweet potatoes are healthy for your vision, and sweet potatoes actually help enhance your brain function. And most of all, for what we are experiencing now, sweet potatoes support your immune system. So let's get started with today's recipe. And I'm excited because we are going to use our VIDA SANA 4-in-1 Immersion Blender. If you don't have this, you need to wait until the end of my presentation so you can find out how you can own one of these beautiful pieces of kitchen tools. Okay, it is an electrical item, so I'm going to pull around my cord, and it has several pieces. And what I'm going to do, first of all, is actually use the food processor part, because one of the things that we're going to do with this recipe is we're going to actually blend oats. Now, if you're using instant oats, you don't have to do this. But if you're not, it takes just a couple of minutes using our immersion blender to just grind up your fresh oats just a little bit. Now, I want to share that there's a very sharp blade inside. It does have protectors, these little plastic protectors, which I've already taken off. But when you have it in your home, you want to make sure you keep those guards on your blades because you don't want little ones cutting their fingers. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I put my blades in. I'm going to pour my oats in. And then I'm going to lock the lid on, which is very easy to do. And with our immersion blender, you want to make sure you lock it in place. So I'm going to place this in, and then I'm going to turn it so it's locked. And I know you might not be able to see, but there's a dot and a lock that goes together. Okay, once I have this in, I'm going to use my pulser. That's all I needed. 3 little pushes and it was done. So I have my oats that I'm going to be using in just a few minutes in this recipe. That was easy, easy, easy. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get our sweet potatoes ready. Now, this was also easy to do because I used our VIDA SANA Pro 7 air fryer. Put the sweet potato in, let it cook in the air fryer while I was doing something else. So what we're going to do now, we've let our sweet potatoes cool, And I'm only going to need a half of a cup, but I've got to mash them first. So guess what? I am going to use my handy dandy little masher, and I'm just going to put it on, lock it in place, and once again, I'm going to use my pulser to just get these potatoes mashed. I only need a half a cup, and I'm pretty sure I've got a little bit more than a half a cup. And what I don't use, I'm going to set aside, because if you're like me, you love sweet potatoes. So you can always use extras. You can throw those extras in a smoothie or use them in another recipe you might have in your home. So we're just mashing these, and of course, I'm using our Fantasia Fresh storage container, and one of the reasons I love using these, anytime you have leftovers, you can always count on these as great storage containers. Okay, I think my potatoes have been mashed, and I didn't have to use the turbo dial. I just used the small manual dial for my potatoes. I don't want to over-starch them by processing them too much. Okay, so now we've got our sweet potatoes ready, and that was easy, easy, easy using this using this VIDA SANA 4-in-1 Immersion Blender. Okay, now I'm going to take this off as I make a little mess here. And I have a nice, wonderful assistant who's going to take that for me. And now what I'm going to do, I need 1/2 cup. So I'm going to use my measuring tool here to get a 1/2 cup, because I think I've got a little bit more than what I need. Okay, let's try and make sure we only have a 1/2 cup. All right, let's look at the measurement. Perfect. So now I'm putting my 1/2 cup into another Fantasia Fresh container, because this is where the magic moves forward. All right. And again, what I can do with my leftover potatoes is I can actually put those in the refrigerator for another time. Okay. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is add the rest of the ingredients to this, okay? So I need to add my oats. Don't want to drop your blade in. Okay. In addition to that, I have shredded coconut. So we're going to add some shredded coconut. Okay. In addition to that, we're going to add flaxseed, and this is ground flaxseed. Okay, we're also going to add some cinnamon. I love cinnamon. We're also going to add baking powder. Okay, I've got some honey. These are all wonderful ingredients. Everything in this recipe is healthy. Okay, got out all my honey. And then I'm going to use some vanilla. Now, you can either use coconut oil or you can use melted butter. So I'm using melted butter. Okay. And then we also have to put in 1 egg. Okay. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Immersion Blender. Yes, I am. So, here we go. This time I am going to use another attachment. This is the blender attachment, and I'm going to place that in, lock it in place. Now, using the blender attachment, I'm going to blend my cookie dough. This is so easy. Doesn't take long. And again, I can put it on the turbo setting if I wanted to do it with the turbo. This is blending very nicely, guys. Very simple. You just want to make sure all the dry components are blended nicely together with the sweet potato. All right, that is looking mighty good. All right, believe it or not, that is all I need to do. So now it's time to put my cookie dough onto my, you guessed it, my wonderful 13-inch Culinario Series griddle. And I'm just gonna take this and pass that on to my wonderful assistant. And let's see, we've got it all together here. And what I love about our Culinario 13-inch round griddle is that you do not have to use any oil and you don't have to use parchment paper. This recipe calls for parchment paper, but you don't need it when you've got our Culinario non-stick griddle. So what we're supposed to do next is just put a tablespoon in each cookie section. So that's my tablespoon, and let me make sure I don't leave any of it. This only takes just a couple minutes to do. You want to just take 1 tablespoon out, and goes really pretty quickly. Now, of course, it's going to take about 16 to 18 minutes for your cookies to bake at 375, but I'm only going to share with you putting it on the griddle because I have another batch that I'm going to show you of how the cookies will look when it's finished. And you're going to say yum, yum, because they look amazing. This is pretty easy. Now, what's good about these cookies is it's a great recipe if you have small children and you want to give them some type of dessert or afternoon snack, but you don't want it to be filled with sugar. That's not good for them. So what you would do is make just a batch of these cookies, and both you and your children will absolutely enjoy it. So I'm going to show you how this looks. Take a look, everybody. We're going to bring the camera in. This is how it looks on the 13-inch non-stick griddle. But that's before you put it in the oven. I have another griddle where I'm going to show you the after product right now. The after product, oh my goodness, guys, take a look. This is how they look when they're finished. Yum, yum. Let me bring it up closer. Does that not look delicious? Now, you have the choice of either using those just as they are, or you might decide you want to drizzle a nice topping on them. And we have a Greek yogurt icing. And I've got my ingredients here, and we're going to use the Immersion Blender once again to make this icing. I've got, first of all, my Greek yogurt. And if you guys have been following me, you know how healthy Greek yogurt is. So we've got our Greek yogurt. We've also got honey. That gives it the sweetening. And then, in addition to that, we've got just a little bit of vanilla. All right, guys. Now, the fun begins because, once again, I'm using my Immersion Blender. So we're going to put this on and we're going to whip this together. Okay, that didn't take much. All right, now what we're going to do next is I am going to just take my little spatula and I'm going to drizzle some of this yogurt icing onto my cookies. Just drizzle a little bit on my cookies, just a little. That just gives it a little extra taste, but once again, this is not sweet. This is also very healthy because we're using Greek yogurt, which is healthy in many ways. And this is looking so yummy, guys. And I am about at the end of my cooking demonstration because it was that easy. Easy, but I've got to tell you a couple of things before we leave, and I want you to take a look at this cookie. Oh my goodness, I would love serving these up to anybody, small children, adults, great snack item. Okay, let me share with you how wonderful these look now that I've put the icing on. Take a look. There they are with that icing. Yum, yum. Now, those are sweet potato cookies made the healthy way.